Hey, it's Leanne and Simon on Loving Life Now and our other pages for today's topic. What is it?
Goal setting for 2021.
Yay! So I'm going to do some sharing while you welcome everybody.
Well, a big welcome to all of those that are joining us live on Facebook this evening. We are here this week, episode number 53, Lee. Do you believe it?
Wow.
And the first episode of the new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all of our live Facebook followers. First episode for the year, and we're talking about goal setting for 2021. And give you some ideas, some tips. We'll have a discussion about it.
We will.
And share a bit about it. Maybe you could share a bit about your goals. We'll see what happens. Ida says, hey guys,
Ida.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Thanks for joining us this evening. Happy New Year to you, Peggy, over there in WA. Great to have you here. Jeff Nixon, hello from down in Victoria. Happy New Year to you.
Imelda. Is it Imelda?
It
Imelda.
is. Imelda, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for joining us. So as you join us, pop your details in. Let us know you're here so we can give you a nice warm welcome. Happy New Year, says Sally. Great to be here. Thanks, Sally. Thanks for joining us. What else we got going on? Good morning from the city of Boston, says Kayla.
Good morning.
G'day, Kayla. Thanks for joining us.
It's a different Kayla.
It is. Happy New Year to you both from Hampshire. G'day, Richard. Hi, guys. Happy New Year. Amanda in Brisbane. Kathleen and Richard Wiseman are watching. I saw that. Hi from Sydney, Australia. Hi to Cheryl. Bridget Rees has joined us. Kayla, Happy New Year, and I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome.
Good on you, Kayla. Thanks for joining us. Bridget Rees says, hi, beautiful peeps, looking relaxed and tanned.
I know we look super tanned.
We
but
do look
we're
super
actually
tanned.
not.
I don't know what's going on.
Our camera's like playing silly buggers with us.
Happy New Year. It keeps
Hey.
coming. Ken says, Shani,
Oh,
hello.
it's Kayla with a different name spelled different. That's what I'm thinking. I'm confused.
Is me, Kayla.
Kayla's
hello.
incognito.
I'm Happy New Year. Hi, Wayne. Happy New Year, says Peggy. Kelly J.
Hello. Hello.
You can
Kate.
welcome some.
Hey, Kate. Kate's from Early Beach. Love it.
Early Beach. Awesome.
Satu, happy 2021. Belinda, happy New Year's to you.
Where are these guys from? Do you know?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. We've got a great topic.
Bruce is from Redcliffe. Happy New Year, Bruce.
We've got a great topic lined up this evening, of course, all talking about goal setting for 2021. Thanks for joining us, Bruce. Good to have you here. David Miller, big Happy New Year to you both, David says. Thanks, David. Good to have you here from South Australia.
We look like we've been sunbaking on the beach and we've got a tan.
We
I
do
like
look
it.
a bit like that. That's it's a good look.
It is.
All right, so as you join, pop your details in. Let us know you're here. Love to welcome you aboard. And, of course, we'll get our topic underway for this week, episode number 53, and the first one of the new year.
It is.
So the first episode for 2021.
Maybe we should start from one again.
No.
No?
No, we got to keep going.
Okay.
Don't start from
Hey,
one.
Patricia, Sunny Coast.
Patricia on the sunny coast. Who else have we got out there?
Kerry. Hey,
G'day,
Kerry.
Kerry's up in Mackay, North Queensland.
Yes.
G'day,
The
Kerry from
Queenslanders are
Mackay.
in the house.
We've got people from the US, the UK, all over Australia. Great to have you here. Well, let's get the topic underway, Lee. Talking about goal setting for 2021. Why is it important to be talking about goals at the start of our year?
Because you want something to aim for the year.
Yep.
You don't want to just be floundering around.
How does that go? What was that? Floundering around. That's a bit weird.
Like Dory. Could be Dory.
All right, so you don't want to be floundering around.
No.
But why are goals going to help you? What are they going to help you with?
Set the path to what you need to be doing and where you need to be going.
Yeah, they'll help you set the path. Jacinta joined us, says Happy New Year to you both. Thanks, and a Happy New Year to all of you that have joined us this evening, talking about goal setting for 2021. So Lee doesn't want to be floundering around like Dory. She wants to make sure she's got some clear goals. But what's important about having clear goals? Direction? They provide direction?
Yes. Well, that's what I was saying. You got a path and know which way to go, right?
Yep. So you've got a clear path of something you want to achieve, right?
Yes.
But Lee, most people in our experience in the industry, a lot of people struggle with goal setting. They don't necessarily find it easy. Hello, Alison in Melbourne. Great for you to join us. So I don't really necessarily find goal setting easy.
No.
So we're going to talk about just some different aspects of goal setting
Sure.
and what's important and how do we go about formulating goals, I mean, they've got to be empowering goals, right? Mm-hmm. So your goals have got to be empowering, and they've got to be clear vision. And what's a tip or advice that you could give somebody who's just sitting down with a pen and paper and they want to get some goals done? What's a great way to start?
You're testing me.
No, I'm just asking you for your opinion. What's a great way to start?
Write a list of stuff.
Yeah,
like literally
list.
just write a list. Just write down anything that pops into your head. Just write it all down, and then you can always go back and elaborate and expand on it and put dates on it and all
Okay,
that.
so first point would be to start off with a blank sheet of paper and some bullet points. Just write out some bullet points, some goals.
Yep.
And get as much out on that paper in, what would you give yourself a time frame to do it in, or?
You could.
You could?
Or you could just write till you can't think of anything else.
Okay, all right. So write out a list of bullet point form goals, and then once you've got those, what are you going to do with them?
You're going to expand on them.
Yep. And what do you mean by that?
So be more specific.
Okay, so we're going to be more specific about our goals. So first of all, we want to get some goals down on paper, and they could be grand dream goals. They could be something that we want to achieve in 10 years' time. They could be something, Lee, that we want to achieve in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years.
So be specific and then put some dates on it.
Okay.
Like some time frames on them.
Now, when we talk about being specific, we see a lot of people write goals, and it's really interesting what some of the goals that come across our desk look like, right? So we'll talk about being specific. So if you had a goal, Lee, and that goal was to buy a new car. So you've written down on your piece of paper, buy a new car. Then what are you going to do with that goal?
I'm then going to detail out, well, what kind of car is it? What style, what brand, what model, what colour interior,
Yep.
All those things.
So you're going to be specific about the goal. And then how would you write that goal out? Like, you've been specific about it. What would you say? How would you write it out?
I am the proud owner
Yep.
of a Mercedes CLA 45 black with black leather interior, blah,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah.
Yep. All right, good. So you're talking in future tense as if you've got it, right?
Well, it's not future tense if you've got it.
No, I understand that, but with your goals, like you're either saying, I'm happy and grateful that.
Yes.
You could say that I'm happy and grateful driving my whatever car it might be for you.
I am the proud owner of.
Yep. Okay. So you're talking in current tense, but
Yes.
future tense. That's my point.
You're going to confuse people. So basically, you're talking in it's already achieved.
Yeah. Correct. Yep. So something as if you've already got it.
Yeah.
Now, otherwise, you can start the sentences with I am. So I'm happy and grateful now that, or I am. They are great ways to start goal setting specifics and sentences for your goals. So, of course, if you wanted to live in a house by the beach, it could be that I'm happy and grateful that I live in my 5-bedroom home overlooking a particular beach. Could be Kira Beach on the Gold Coast, as an example.
Yeah.
Right?
Alison says, as if it's been achieved.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you definitely want to be clear and specific about the goals.
Yes.
Now, what about, Lee, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here, what about if I wanted to create a goal that was to, I've got some outstanding loans, I've got money owing on my credit cards, so I'm going to write down a goal to get out of debt. Is that a good goal?
No.
No? Why not?
Because the universe sees that you want to get out of debt, so it's going to give you more debt.
Correct. So when we talk about what we want, we've got to focus on what? The positive.
Yes.
So what's the positive? What's the outcome? What do I want to achieve?
Financial freedom.
Financial freedom, sure.
Or a set amount of money.
Yeah, absolutely. Or a set amount, or a goal of a figure on a certain period of
got a
time.
bug.
I've got a bug flying around in here. It's been attracted to the light. All right, so we set a goal. We set a financial goal, whether it be for 6 months' time, 12 months' time, a year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it might be, right? Now, of course, that's a positive. Now, that'll take care of the debt, correct?
Yes.
So if we've got debt and we want to get out of debt, then we focus on the positive. We focus on the outcome.
Yes.
So what about, let's be the devil's advocate again, what about I want to get trim, right? I want to slim down and I want a goal to lose
10 kilos.
Yeah, my goal is to lose 10 kilos. Is that a good goal to have?
No.
No, why not?
Because the universe is going to keep giving you more weight so you can lose 10 kilos.
Right. So the way the goals work is you've got to look at the positive side. So what's the outcome that you want? Alison says, focus on what we want, not what we don't want. Choose your words carefully. And that is so true. So if I wanted to shed some weight or lose a number of kilos, I'm not going to focus on the kilos that I want to lose. My goal is to focus on the goal weight.
So I'm happy and grateful to be at my goal weight of 65 kilos.
Correct, yeah. So I'm actually focusing on the outcome. What's the outcome? What is it that I want? And what is it that I want to achieve? Not what I need to do to lose to get to it.
Yeah.
Because the universe, as you said, Lee, doesn't understand that. And it's going to give you consistent weight for you to keep losing 10 kilos, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit like debt. And when people say, I want to get out of debt, or I want to pay off my credit cards, well, of course, the universe just understands you want to keep paying off your credit card. So it'll give you more credit card debt, right? So be specific about what it is that you're looking to achieve. You really want to be clear and concise and specific about what it is that you're looking for, both now, short term and long term, and medium term, of course. Now, how do we determine whether our goals are short term, medium term, or long term? Who determines that?
You do.
You do, all right? So how do I determine that?
Is that a test?
Yes, that's a test. All right, so in my mind, to determine a goal, so once I've got my list of goals, I'm going to go through that list and I'm going to put down next to them, let's say 1, 3, 5, and 10. So 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. So I'm going to break them down into short-term, medium-term, or long-term goals. And I'm going to put a number beside them representing what I think that goal is. So if I had a particular goal to, if we had a goal to own a multi-million-dollar apartment overlooking the beach at Kira, then that would be one of our long-term goals, right?
Yes.
So we might have a 5 next to it, or, because for me, short-term is one up to 1 year. Medium-term is 1 to 3 years. 1 to 3 years, and then 3 to 5, and then you've got 5 plus. So my long term is 5 plus. I believe that you really want to be able to achieve the goals. You want to feel like you're getting somewhere. And that's an important thing too. People set goals, but then what happens? They write them out, then what do they do with them?
Hey Mel. Mel's joined us.
Oh, hello Mel. Good evening. So what do they do once they've set goals on a piece of paper?
Put them in the cupboard and don't look at them ever again, or in the drawer.
Well, we do. We find that people write out their goals, but then they file them and they don't put them all. They put them away and they don't look at them.
Yeah.
So what's really important about goal setting is to make sure that once you've got your goals out, what do you do with them, Lee?
Have them out so you can see them every day, and even read over them and just have them at front of mind all of the time.
Absolutely. So visualizing the goals is really important. Taking time to actually attach an emotion to the goal. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that when I got started in the personal development industry 12 and a half years ago, one of the things that really inspired me was to make that list of goals and sit there and read it, but just close my eyes for a moment and visualize one of the goals. And that could have been driving my ideal car. It could have been having that ideal house that you want to live in, or that ideal holiday, but just really attaching an emotion to it.
Well, you can take, if it is, for example, a car, you could go and actually test drive the car.
Correct.
So that you've actually got the real feeling of what that feels like.
But you know what? A lot of people don't do that. And why don't they do it?
Because they're too scared.
They're too scared. They're scared that if they actually go and test drive the car that they want to own or drive or buy, that they'll fall short and then they'll disappoint themselves.
Well, see, we went and test drove it and brought it.
That's right. Just do what we do.
Vision boards. A few people have said vision board. And yes, absolutely. I have a vision board at the start of each year. And it's funny because I have it up on the wall, but I don't necessarily look at it as often as I should. And I remember...
You're shooting on yourself?
I'm shooting on myself. But what I realised last year is that when I went to redo the pictures, is some of it I'd already achieved and I didn't even realise. So there was pictures up there of stuff and I'm like, I've already done that. I've actually done that and I've achieved that and I've brought that and so yes, that's cool to then print out some new pictures. So vision boards, basically I just print out pictures offline of stuff that I want to do and achieve, and then I pin it all up on my vision board. Awesome.
And they are. Vision boards are a great way to visualize those goals, have it at the forefront of your mind, really focus on it. On a regular basis, you're constantly getting that energy. Kate, I just noticed she said, well, that's how she got her car. She went
Awesome.
and test drove it and put it out there. And I was exactly the same. You know, when I got started here, I made a list of the ideal car that I wanted, went to the dealership, test drove it, and then created that vehicle in my life. So goals certainly work, but it's important to get them out of your head and written down. Why is that, Lee?
Because until you write them down, they're not goals, they're just dreams in your head.
Right.
Now, Peggy, I can relate. So Peggy went and looked at an open house of a penthouse. I did the same thing with my dream penthouse, and I still remember every doorway and everything of that apartment. Like, I could literally go there and tell you where everything was.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a great exercise. It's a bit like going and looking at display homes, you know, of your ideal home that you want to live in or buy. Go and wander through a display home. Go through one of the surf lifesaving homes or one of those raffle homes that you could win. And if that's your ideal dream home, go and have a look at it. Go and explore it. Because the more you bring that into reality, the more the universe is actually going to give you what you want.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Okay? So Jeanette says, do you ever move the photos of the things you've achieved to a new board to keep focused that you're on track and that you can do it? I don't personally move into a new board. I'll just at the start of each year, I'll just scrap all the stuff I've already achieved and put all new stuff up. But you could do that if that's something that you think is going to be a benefit for you.
I think the empowering thing is that realising that when you go back to that board, whether it be 6 months or at the end of the 12 months, to realise how much you've actually achieved, right? Mm-hmm. Just making sure that focuses on us. So it's really important to know where you're going and be clear on that so that you can actually create the results and then see how far you've got. Now, quite often, Lee, last year we were travelling on a plane and we sat down and we wrote out the goals and, a lot of those goals we've achieved without even knowing. And we looked back at the previous year and a lot of them we'd already achieved without even sort of realising as such that we had actually achieved those goals that we wanted. Mm-hmm. So certainly, for us, we've still got to do that exercise this year. Get down and sit down and do our goals and get clear on that.
I've got it down for tomorrow for us to do.
No, have you?
It's on tomorrow evening. Hey, James. James is Mel's husband's joined us. Awesome. So let me go back. There was a question here from Kerry. So I've the same vision board for years. Should I update it?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
My opinion is you keep your vision boards fresh, and I would go back to it, Kerry, and absolutely restructure what you've got on that vision board. And some of the things you may see, goals are set in sand, not in stone. Well,
the goals are in concrete, but the time frame's in sand.
Yes, well, thanks for clarifying. That's what I was talking about.
So you can move the time frame. So if you don't hit the goal in the time frame, you move the time frame and you go for it again, right? Because we don't always hit it in the time frame that we want.
But sometimes our goals also change.
Yes.
So we can be heading in one direction and then all of a sudden we need to course correct and change direction. And therefore that goal, that you may have wanted, you might have this vision of this particular house and you go and look at the house and you find out that you actually don't like it. Or it could be a car. Yeah. You go and test drive it and think, I actually don't like that car.
Doesn't drive so well.
That's right. So all of a sudden your goal changes.
Yeah.
So certainly, Kerry, in response, I would revisit it and I would go out there and recreate that vision board for yourself.
Absolutely.
Give it a whole fresh new vibe.
I'm just going to read a couple comments. So we've got Bruce says, goals are not just material things. Money is a tool to give you options. Absolutely. Jinx. Snap. Do you separate goals for being and goals for getting?
Goals for being and goals for getting.
So the person you want to be and the things that you want to achieve.
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, you've got... Well, I don't know whether you need to separate them as such, right? I don't know. I mean, you've got a vision board, and your vision board is generally, a combination of both. From my experience, it's a combination of who you want to show up as. Are you showing up? If you want to be a leader in your industry and in your business, then you would have leadership as one of the qualities on your goal board. Mm-hmm. So that's about being, and that's going to be intertwined with everything else that's on your goal board. So personally, I think they become, it's like be, do, have.
A little bit.
You've got to be the person that you want to be before you can do what the successful people do in order to have. Mm-hmm. So they've got to be intertwined. You've got to be that person in order to achieve the goal. Otherwise, you won't achieve the goal.
Absolutely.
Because it's not have, do, be, right?
No. Well, a lot of people live their way that their life that way. They think, oh, well, I've got to have that first.
And then I'll be happy.
And then I'll do this, and then I'll be the person. And it doesn't work that way. Bev says it's very powerful. Bridget says, I always update my vision board and I tick them with a big black text star. I like that. Bridget said, that's cool. Jacinta, I've achieved half of my vision board, just about to add more. I can't say that word.
Prioritised? She's
Um,
prioritised it.
Yes. Don't mind my blah, blah,
All right,
blah.
so one of the other tips that I've got regarding goal setting is a really good way that you can set up your goals. It's called SMART goals. And you can find a lot about SMART goals online. But certainly they've got to be specific. So if you write down the word SMART on a piece of paper, and then beside it write specific, beside the S, beside the M.
So put it down like
vertical.
That.
Yeah. So SMART. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timetable. Now, when we talk about realistic, we're not talking about realistic as you think. We're talking about
not realistic. That's too easy for you to achieve.
No, they've got to be.
Oh, I can do that tomorrow.
They've got to be unrealistically realistic, right?
Yes.
But they can't be unrealistic.
It's got to be scary and exciting at the same time.
It's no good saying I want to be a millionaire in the next month unless you've got a lotto ticket on.
Yeah.
Right? That's about the only chance you've got.
Most likely that's not going to happen.
That's the only chance you've got of winning the lotto. So they've got to be realistic. If you wanted to be a millionaire within a couple of years' time, based on what you're doing, and you've got a vehicle to do that, or you've got a vision that you want to create that, absolutely, that's a possible. It's possibly achievable for anybody. Mm-hmm. So remember, SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable. They've got to be realistic or relevant, and they've got to be timetableable. So you've got to be able to measure them. Mm-hmm. It's important to set a time frame on your goals.
Yeah.
And if you don't achieve them, what do? Do you cry and have a pity party?
Oh, you chuck your lunchbox on the floor and you have a tanty.
And you can have a pity party for yourself.
No, you move the time frame. You do it again.
Yeah, reset your time frame.
And you do it again until you achieve it. Now, just a couple of comments back here. So Kerry says, cool, thanks. I was leaving it over the years because of John Atheras in The Secret.
Yep.
Opening the boxes with the vision boards years later and realizing he'd achieved it. But you're right. So what you could do, Kerry, any of your items on there that you haven't achieved, you might just make a whole new board. You might still keep the other one if you want to.
Put it away in a box and then open it years to come, Kerry.
And then start a new one.
Exactly like John did.
Exactly. And that's probably what he did. He probably actually just started some new ones and hadn't got rid of the old ones. So
and then was unpacking the boxes and realised. And I agree. I think that, there's a lot to that. However, some of those goals on there may no longer be your goals. So they're actually cluttering up some of the goals that are there, right?
And you may have achieved some of them and not realised. Loving this topic. Thank you.
All right, so what else have we got about... so I've got a little statement here. Go on. You go.
Satu says, I started in September, did my goals and redid again as I learnt more about the business. I do read them daily.
Awesome.
Bev says he had multiple vision boards over the years, which he then found not just one. Exactly, yeah. Bruce says, make no little plans. They have no magic to stir a man's blood.
No little plans. That's right, Bruce.
Peggy says, our goal posts move as we grow and achieve them. Kate says, I've heard that R in SMART referred to as results orientated to.
Yep, and it can be, it's referred to a couple of different ways.
And Debbie Sue says, and I like to take some sort of action towards the goal on the day to set it to. That way momentum starts.
Awesome.
Cool.
And there's a little comment here that only about 3% of adults have clearly defined written goals. Do you believe that?
Well, it's kind of like 3% of people make most, 3% of people make most of the money or whatever. What's the saying?
That saying.
Is that saying? Something like that.
Well, when you talk about success and you talk about earning a multiple six-figure income, it's only 3% of the population that create wealth.
It's probably the same, right? 3%.
So it's exactly. So there's a correlation there. So 3% of adults have clearly defined written goals, and those 3% on average earn 10 times as much as those without written goals.
It's the same 3%.
So get clear on your goals. Make sure that you certainly have got them written out. Lee, when I came to this industry 12 and a half years ago now, one of the first things I was introduced to was The Secret and was goal setting.
Yep.
And at that point, I'd always gone after the next shiny object.
Was that me?
Yeah, that was you. So, no, that wasn't 12 and a half years ago.
Okay.
So I always went after that next shiny object,
Yes.
right? And then when I achieved it, I just found the next shiny object. What was the next thing I wanted to go for?
Yeah.
You know, was it a work-orientated goal? Was it just to apply myself and achieve?
Everyone's laughing.
So I really didn't have a clear, defined set of goals.
Yeah.
Until I was introduced to The Secret. And I actually sat down with a pen and paper and wrote out my grand dream goals, right? Mm-hmm. So you can call them my grand dream goal list. I love that. I love that saying. Jess is watching. G'day, Jess in South Australia.
Laughing with me.
And Jeanette. Hi, Jeanette. And so we've got grand dream goals, or I like another one called BHAG. And it stands for...
Big, hairy, audacious...
Hairy, audacious goals.
Yeah, okay.
So you can have big, hairy, audacious goals as well. Now, get clear on what they are. Write it out. I sat there and I wrote out these goals and I allowed myself to dream a little, because I think what happens as adults, Lee, is that we tell our kids to dream, right? We tell our kids to, you know, you can be anything you want. Little Johnny, you can be anything you want when you grow up.
Yeah, Johnny.
But then we also are very selective as to who Johnny hangs around.
Yes.
Right? So we are, you know,
we try to be selective.
We're not really
It
comfortable
work.
with the way that, you know, Johnny's family operates over here. So maybe it's best that you don't hang around, you know, that we don't really want you hanging around Johnny number 2. So we really sort of shape our children in that respect, but we tell them that they can be anything as well.
Yeah.
Now, as we grow up and we become adults, what tends to happen is that people, forget about who they hang around, and they hang around people who are not serving them, which is not great.
Nope.
And secondly, they also stop dreaming.
Yeah.
They actually, because they
get stuck on the treadmill and
they're
they're just
dumbed down.
They're just doing what they have to do each day to pay the bills and live life, and nothing really different ever happens.
Yeah, they've been sort of squashed in their careers, the way they've been brought up, their jobs, their life. And rather than actually being focused on those grand dream goals, they stop dreaming. And a lot of adults do it. And they just go in, like you said, on the treadmill. They go to work, they come home, they go to bed, they get up, they go to work, they come home, they go to bed. The same old, it's like Groundhog Day.
Well, I spoke to a few people today, actually, that had said something similar. They're like, I've been doing this for so many years and I just don't like it anymore.
Yep.
And I just don't like going to work.
Yeah. I think it's a great time. I mean, you know, this is a great time of year for people to reset. And it doesn't have to be New Year to do this.
Anytime.
It can be any time of the year, but it is a great time when people do reset. And you get a lot of those people that say, right, my goal for this year, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. How long does that last?
Probably a month, if you're lucky.
So people tend to start it and then they fall away.
Well, you see what happens is people have time off work, as an example. They might have 2 or 3 weeks off work. And then they realise, I don't want to go back to work. So then they set this New Year's resolution. I'm going to find a business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then, you know, maybe they see some photos of themselves at the beach and they go, oh, I need to lose some weight. And so they see all this stuff that happens over these holidays. And they're like, yep, I'm starting all fresh.
That's right.
And they get back on the treadmill and it's all out the window.
Well, they get inspired, right?
Yes.
They're inspired to create the change. But very small amount of people will actually follow through with that. So what's really important is that when you set the goals, you actually put in place sometimes a plan as to, well, how am I going to achieve this goal? You know, if my goal is to earn more money, then how am I going to achieve that? Have I got a business? Have I got a vehicle that's going to allow me to do that? And if you have, great, then I can put more energy, more time, more direction into making that, you know, my dream income goal. If it's you know, getting to your goal weight, then of course you want to make sure that you set a plan in your calendar and in your diaries to make sure that you do the exercise that's required in order for you to actually do that. So it's not about just setting the goals, Lee, and then sitting back and going, you know what, I'm just going to wait for that genie to come along and it's just going
to...
and my goals are going to appear. It doesn't happen like that.
So Edith says, I read recently that most people forget about their goals or resolutions by the 15th of January.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? 15th of January. So certainly be focused. I think that's the key. Be clear on your goals. most importantly, be specific. And as we spoke about, make sure that you're focusing on the positive outcome,
Yes.
not the negative one.
So as another example, because I saw Kayla asked a question earlier, so you're not going to say, I want to lose 10 kilos. You're going to say, I'm happy and grateful to be at my goal weight of 65 kilos, as an example.
Absolutely. So it's how you frame it up. It's how you say it. You got to think, if I'm referring to something that's I'm going to lose or get out of or negative.
Like debt. I want to get out of debt.
You're going to get more of it. Okay? So the more you focus on that, that's not the outcome. What's the positive side? So the positive side of what I want to achieve, what is that? What do I need to do?
I'm happy and grateful I made $50,000 in the last 6 months.
Now, Lee,
whatever's going to cover your debt. One
of the things about that, and having a goal to create income allows choices, right? And for me, that was a big one. I'm motivated by creating success financially because it allows you to make better choices. It allows you to create better experiences.
Have more options.
And look, money's up there with oxygen.
Yeah.
If we don't have oxygen, we can't breathe. If you don't have money, you can't survive. Okay? So they're equally as important in one's life. Now, however, money doesn't always motivate everybody.
No.
So for some people, they're motivated more about the goals, the tangible things, as Bruce was alluding to earlier, the shiny objects. Some of those things are more inspiring to people than setting a dollar figure. However, we know that in order for you to achieve necessarily some of those things, you're going to have to create the money, right? So now, however, one of the things that I really learned was that when you're creating goals, you don't necessarily need to know. You don't necessarily. So we got a phone buzzing in the background. You don't necessarily need to know how you're going to get there.
No,
that's the thing. Is what I was wanting to get to was that
you don't need to know the exact step, every single step. Like, let's say there's 100 steps to get to that goal. You don't need to know the 100 steps. You just need to know the first one, do the first one, and then find out and work out the second one as you go along.
Yeah, but some of those goals also are going to be big, hairy, audacious, and grand dream goals, and you're going to have no idea right at this point in time how that goal can be achieved, and you don't need to either. What you've got to do is set the goal, set the intention, and then some of the smaller steps and things along the way are going to lead you to create that bigger, hairy, audacious goal.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to share about that?
No, but how about, because I did this on my TikTok live earlier today and went really well. So share with us what your biggest goal for 2021 is.
What the biggest goal is?
Just one goal, whatever that biggest goal is that you want to achieve. So maybe it's something that you were wanting to achieve last year, but couldn't because of COVID and other things. But so your biggest goal for 2021, just share it with us in the comments.
We want to get a boat.
We do. We want a boat.
There you go. We want to get a boat. So we don't know how that's going to happen or where that's going to pan out or whatever. But we've sort of already started discussing it. We'd like to. One of our big, hairy, audacious goals is to get a boat. I think it'd be great to have a boat in a syndicate of people. Have a group of maybe 4 families that go in to have the boat together, and they all schedule it one weekend.
Anyone here want to get a boat?
That's right. So that's a big goal. Oh, look, Cheryl wants to join the 50K club.
50K club, love it. Our short-term goal
is to make 200K in a month.
Is 200K in a month. However, another short-term goal is to get over to Portugal. Kerry wants to be 50K club. I'm going to build a house this year. Joanna, 50K club. Jacinta, 50K club. Bev. Everyone's in the 50K. Why is no one going for the 100K?
That's interesting, isn't it? Della says, oh, what?
Boat days.
Boat days.
Yeah. I want to earn enough money in the business to stop working as a midwife. That was Kelly, I think.
Become an MA director and earn multiple 6-figure.
Yeah. Oh, there you go, Bridget.
Bridget says 100K club. Good on you. Goal is to get a new apartment. Great. Bruce
always
says...
good to have a boat.
Always good to have a boat.
Bruce, you want to come in on a boat?
Bruce is in New Zealand now. He can't do that.
Doesn't matter. We'll look after it for him.
So we've got MA. Meet my soulmate. Kerry wants to.
Kerry.
Good on you. Cheryl wants a helicopter.
Oh, are you going to take us for a ride, Cheryl?
That's a good goal. Helicopter.
No,
we'll
Peggy.
Get a boat.
Actually, Peggy, no, you don't have to hit the 50K club first because Nicola didn't both in the same month.
You can actually just do
the
100
and
you get
somebody
both.
else. So if you go for 100, you can knock out the 50 on the way.
Yeah, we've had a couple of business owners that have knocked out the 50 and the 100 in 1 month. Obviously, they've hit the 50, then gone on to achieve the 100.
Yeah.
So they actually get the award for both in a single month.
So may as well just knock it all out at once.
So our goal is 200k profit in our business in a month, and that's a
Place
goal
on the
on
Sunshine
short term.
Coast for Alison.
Alison wants to move to the sunny coast, or just buy a place up there.
Bruce said he
Do you
has
want
a
to move
boat.
there? Bruce has got a boat. Did you take it back to New Zealand with you, or did you leave it here on the Gold Coast?
Yes, Kelly, congratulations. Kelly upgraded to M8 the other day with Gabby. So
Oh,
that was
awesome.
super cool. Congrats. Just buy a cruise liner, Bruce, and Leanne and Simon can get a bigger boat. Bruce Mitchell wants to get a boat and 50k. I'll follow Nicola's lead and go for 50 and 100 in 1 month. Absolutely. Why not? That's what I say.
Awesome. Well, look, we appreciate you joining us this evening for our goal-setting exercise for 2021. Wanted to share with you. I guess it's always a great time to reflect and remember, allow yourself to dream, because that's the most important thing. So take some time out, find a quiet space where you can sit down with a pen and paper and just journal out some of the those grand dream goals that you want to achieve, and allow yourself to dream a little. Maybe then get together with your spouse, significant other or partner and ask them to do the same exercise separately, and then come together and have a look at your goals.
Bruce said he does need a bigger boat.
Have a look at your goals once you come back together and see, what's important for both of you, and what goals has the other person got that you didn't know that they'd like to have on their goal list. All right, and create those new vision boards, Kerry. Get out there and revisit a new one as well. And of course, it's something that we definitely do. I want to share this. We've got a couple of cork boards up in our office here, and one of the things, I buy the Surf Life Saving lottery tickets every month because we live on the Gold Coast, and I think it's really important to support Surf Life Saving, and I do it for that as opposed to going in it for the house draw. But I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that I'm going to win one of those Surf Life Saving houses. And every month when they send me the email with my tickets, I print it off and I pin it. Do I not? I pin it to the goal setting board in the office because I want to see it up there. And so that's my goal. One of my goals is to win a Surf Life Saving house.
And I'm winning a Mercedes for Simon. What's it called?
Through multiple sclerosis.
Yeah, because I know someone that's won one. So in my mind, it's like, well, I'm going to win one because they won one, and so I'm winning one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So, these are, and we're donating to those charities at the same time. So supporting good organisations. And look, if you happen to win something, great. If you don't, it's not about that for us. It is about, giving and donating to the charity. But, I think...
Bonus if you win.
It's just a goal. It's just this goal, this vision that I've got about winning one. Because I think it'd be awesome to have...
when you win.
I think it'd be awesome, that's right, to have a holiday house like on the Sunshine Coast or a Bribie, which is a lot of where their houses are, right? So
well, the ones I buy tickets in a Gold Coast, usually.
Well, we can still have a staycation place.
Yeah. Or just move in, leave the kids
leave the kids at the house. Yeah.
Oh, and... happy birthday to my gorgeous darling daughter, Jayla.
14 today.
14 today.
Happy birthday,
She's
Jayla.
not watching, but happy birthday, Jayla.
All right. Well, I trust that that's assisted everyone with, taking some time to go and create that, Lee.
Yes.
So thanks for joining us here on Facebook Live. We'll be back next week. Episode number 54 next week. Same time, Tuesday night, 7:30 Queensland time. We'll be live on Loving Life Now. And, of course, sharing across our other pages, Simon and Leanne, and also Lifestyle Biz.
Absolutely. So
awesome.
Have an amazing week, guys, and we'll see you then.
Have a great week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye for now.